Hey everyone, welcome back to the Waterlad Podcast. I'm James Marshall and I've got a huge episode for you today. But firstly, this episode is brought to you by the Waterlad merch. Yes, we have restocked in hats and hoodies, which were by far the most popular items. So if you enjoy this podcast, go and be a lad by getting yourself your own lad hat or hoodie, and it's as simple as heading over to waterlad.com. Also on that website, there's also discounts for Mintwear, Sujon, and Pure Sports CBD. So go and make the most of those discounts while they're there. Anyway, I've got a great guest for you today, so let's get to it.
What a lad, what a lad, what a lad, what an absolute lad. What a lad, what a lad, what a lad, what an absolute lad.
What a lad. Well, I'm mixing up a little bit today by not just having one great lad on the podcast, but two. And who better to test that new approach out than having a couple of New Zealand legends who have both won Commonwealth Golds and Olympic silver medals for the All Black Seven side and are both starting in the Bunnings NPC final for Tasman after making a massive impact for them this season. They are two of the great lads. It is Regan Ware and Andrew Knewstubb. Welcome, lads.
Kia ora, bro. Good to be here.
Hey, thanks for coming out to the Waterlad studio out in Mapua. Sun is shining.
Hell of a day. Hell of a day.
But boys, Tasman final this weekend. Who would have thought you guys would both be starting in a final at the start of the Bunnings Cup?
Yeah, well, I guess I'm pretty happy to just be playing, bro. I thought I was going to take my 8 weeks leave and be parked up on the beach with a few beers. So, just massive to be down here, bro. Good group of boys, and this is my first NPC final too. So.
True. And you've played for a few teams too.
Yeah, yeah, a few.
Been around. And you, Stubby, how did it all come about for you?
I knew Riggs has been in talk with the Tassie boys for a wee while, and then obviously a few fellas went down. So got the message from Goody. Luckily, I was in the know with Goody before, so the message from Goody said if I wanted to come down, and give him a hand, and I always love to come back down here. So yeah, it's cool.
Because you were grinding away here for a while before you got your chance, eh?
Yeah, I was down here since 2014 was when I first come down, and then I was grinding away, and an old banter with Bruce kept me out for a long time. I try to hate Bruce, but I just couldn't.
Mate, he's such a good guy.
Yeah. I was like, man, he keeps keeping me out, but he's too much of a good dude to hate him. So, and then I ended up making it with the Sevens team, and then
But you guys have obviously added heaps to the side since you've arrived. How have you found coming into the Tasman environment?
Yeah, I've loved it, bro. I haven't played 15s for a while, for a good year or so. So coming in, that transition from 7s to 15s is a little bit rough, just wrapping your head around all the calls, all the plays. It's different when you're going from defending 7 people to 15. So. But no, like I said, bro, all the boys are real welcoming, helped out with that a lot. And once I wrap my head around 15s, it's good to put the jersey on, have a run around.
What about you, Stubby?
Yeah, it was me, and I was pretty comfortable coming down. I already knew most of the boys, and everyone was still the same when I left. So saw some good laughs, and it was just cool to be on the other side, not on the Sparrows team all the time. So yeah, it was good.
So what have you found the hardest transition from 7s to 15s?
Probably just the time on feet. You spend a lot of time on feet, and then talking about stuff for a wee while, and then all of a sudden you just got to flick the switch again and start sprinting again. Yeah. Whereas at 7s, it's kind of just go. Have your smoko after. But yeah, I think, that's probably the biggest. Oh, and the more kicking, more like punting and stuff like that. Yeah. Just getting your head around that.
I've kicked once.
It's kicking when you come down, was shocking. Honestly, we were deciding whether you're left or right footer.
Mate, you've kept that undercover. You've been striking them real nice.
I wouldn't say that. I don't know about that, bro. Striking them better, but I don't know if I'll call it good.
And what advantages do you feel like you have from coming from 7s?
Probably the fitness side of things.
Yeah.
Coming out of a full Olympic campaign, pretty much straight into 15s, it kind of helps a bit on the lungs. But like Stubb said, it's a bit different. Like time on feet, obviously 80 minutes compared to 14 minutes is a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's probably the biggest thing, bro, is the old lungs are a bit warmed up.
Do you struggle with the lungs at all when you're playing 15s, or do you find it pretty easy? It's more like the body soreness and stuff.
Oh, the lungs are all good, eh?
Yeah, not too bad.
No, the lungs are all good. It's more the cramping, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty bad cramp.
Yeah, you cramped for the first time the other day, eh?
Yeah, I don't know what was going on.
I don't think I've played longer than 20 minutes this season, so haven't had time to cramp.
Cramp this weekend in the final, surely.
Perfect. Timing.
And obviously, like, that fitness thing's pretty underrated, I reckon, because, I mean, it's pretty obvious to notice how much fitter you guys are compared to probably the rest of the group, and the energy you guys have on the field and the ability to do those extra efforts on the field's made a massive difference for our side anyway.
Probably Stubbs more than me, like I said, 20 minutes every game. So, but yeah, it does help coming from full sevens campaign into 15s.
Mm.
Just a easier transition, I'll say.
Yeah.
Wouldn't say it's easy, but it's a bit better.
Yeah. And Stubby, you were at Horowhenua before you came down here. You managed to sneak in a couple of games for them. So how did that compare to the Bunnings Cup?
I don't know how to say it. It's obviously different. Like the Noah boys are just friggin' legends, eh? They just go to work 12 hours a day, come out training, bloody got sheep shit all over their hands, and they're like, right, let's get into some footy training, and they just give it tits the whole time.
Yeah, and
then go out, like give up their weekends and play footy on the weekends just because they love it and just because they love the province and the union and stuff. And man, I love my time for the Noah, and I always wanted to play for them since I was a young fella. Like watching my older brother play for them and watching some other guys play for them was awesome. And then I was just lucky enough to have a couple of games for them, and I didn't actually offer them very much. I was up to bugger all. I played centre one game and got bunted a few times. It was very humbling.
Did you find it hard playing at that level?
Yeah, I found it just different, I think. There was a couple of times there the ball was just kind of chucked to me and expected to
do something.
I was just
give it to the seventh star.
I was just getting smoked the whole time. But it's more just different. I think the Bunnings is probably a bit faster. And I think you make a mistake in the Bunnings and getting the shit pretty fast, whereas Heartland you normally work your way out of it sometimes.
Yeah. And obviously we've got the final this weekend. By the time this is released, it would have already been played. But how are you guys feeling? What's the confidence levels like?
No, quite good, bro. We've had a pretty good week building up to the game. Obviously I've had a week off, so I'm probably a little bit more fresh than Stubbs is.
How is your head?
No, it's good, bro. I was pretty messed up to start with. So
yeah.
Can't get much worse. But no, like I said, bro, we've had a good week. Pretty clear on most of our roles, so just have to get out there on the big stage and do it.
Exciting times. You, Stubby, I got the pleasure of rooming with you last weekend, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the rooming list is for this weekend. Hopefully Stu keeps it the same and I get to have another night with you.
Yeah.
Is that a mutual feeling?
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe.
Give me a rest, bro. Stu's always stitching me out with Stubbs.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think you two have sort of requested it, haven't you? Because you guys, was any part of your deal to come down as long as it was both of you?
I actually asked if I could come down by myself.
Yeah, and once I heard he was coming down, I tried to pull out.
No, but you guys have obviously been good friends for a long time. When did that relationship sort of start? Was that from sevens or was it before then?
No, it was just straight from sevens. Like obviously before I made it, I was just a fan, so I knew. Wow, yeah, I don't know if I was actually a fan. Yeah,
got photos with him, autograph.
I was a fan, and then I met him, and then decided actually. No, but I went straight from here. And Riggs asked if I wanted to move in with him. Like, obviously, we had a few camps and stuff like that before. And he's like, oh, you might as well come move in with me and the missus. And, I moved in with Riggs, and it was an eye-opener, that's for sure. Really got to know Riggs.
Doing it for money, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quality. Anyway, boys, we had a few questions about a lot of guys wanting to know what your pathway to the sevens game was like. So we'll start with you, Regs. I know you grew up in Tokoroa. What was that like for you?
Yeah, growing up in Toke was real cool, bro. I loved it. I love the fact that I get to, call Toke my home.
Yeah.
I'm still really proud of it. And I guess my pathway, bro, I was Toke till I was in intermediate, and then I moved up to Hamilton for high school. And then from there, I had a couple of years of Waikato. Then I got asked to go away on a sevens invitational sort of preseason tournament. It was Central Coast. Played that first tournament. And then about a couple of weeks later, Titch called me up and basically said he was going to contract me from then onwards. And
sure.
Yeah. I was probably lucky I had an inside word. Joe was betting for me quite hard.
Joe Weber.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I probably wouldn't be here unless he, I had the support of him.
So how did you know him? Through school?
Yeah, I went to high school with
Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
So he kind of, unfortunately for him, stuck his neck out for me. And but yeah, I probably owe a lot to Joe. Got my name in the workshop, bro, and from then onwards I just had to put the foot down and start working hard.
What is it about Tokoroa that so many people come out of there and become successful? I mean, so many athletes come from there. It's crazy.
I just want to get out of there.
Thanks, bro.
No, but it's a pretty small town, eh? Like the population's what would the population be there?
Maybe 14,000.
Oh yeah,
I think.
And about 7,000 of those are professional athletes.
Yeah, there's a few rugby players that come out of Toke, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it's quite, everyone in Toke's backing you all the way. You got a lot of family there who still now, come to most of the games, as many as they can come to. I always get about 30, 40 of them. Aunties, uncles, mum and dad's mates.
Tickets.
Yeah, they've already put their orders in for this weekend. But they come to the sevens tournaments that have been in Hamilton. And, get the shirts on and a few inside jokes type shirts.
Yeah.
You're never short of support. It's real family based down there, and I guess with enough support and love, bro, you go a long way. It's quite hard not to, really.
Interesting.
But yeah.
What about you, Stubby? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Waikanae.
Oh, yeah.
Kapiti Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
Great place. Yeah. It's awesome. I love it there. And then come down here in 2014, like I was saying. And
what inspired that move to come down here?
There was a guy that come down here. One of my brother's mates earlier, and he worked for the Hofnor Kapiti Rugby Union.
Not Shelford.
Yeah, Shelford. Yeah, Shelford's got us down
the
here.
legend.
Yeah, he got us down here, and he said, "Oh yeah, they'll sort you out a job and accommodation." And you hear that, you think, "Oh yeah, we're in for it here." Come down, I was at the Rewalker pub, and I was picking apples. I was like, "Far." I don't know how I was getting paid less than minimum wage because I wasn't picking them very fast. Picking them and throwing them at trees and stuff.
Thinking you're coming down? Were you thinking you were coming down as a professional player? Or?
No. I knew I had to work and stuff like that, but I was actually just on trial for the Tasman Academy.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty cool. Had a few fellas like Davey and Ethan Blackadder and stuff like that in the academy and stuff. So it was quite cool. And then from there, 2014, I tried to play sevens for Tasman.
Yeah.
And I actually got dropped. And then I thought, oh yeah, I'll just go home early then. I went back up to Kapiti for Christmas and went up there and I was training with the sevens, the Horowhenua Kapiti sevens, just trying to stay fit. And I was like, oh, do you want to play? And I was like, yeah, sweet, I'll play. And then we had Tasman in our draw and then went up against a pretty stacked Tasman team like Shannon Frizzell and Trail and Tony and all that. Sure. And we actually ended up beating them.
Did you?
Yeah, so it's wicked. It's one of my highlights, I reckon.
Mate, how did you not make the Tasman Sevens side?
Yeah, I was probably 60 kgs back then, I reckon.
Were you?
And, I was just a wee fella.
Would you have picked yourself? So you put on 5.
65,
Would you have picked yourself? Honestly, cool. Like, if you were the coach, do you think you deserved to be picked in that squad?
Oh, man, I don't know.
Just
Like I was one of the fittest.
Yeah.
But like I was pretty green, I was pretty fresh. And I don't know. Like I said, they had a stacked team.
Yeah.
And I don't really know who they would have taken out. So I don't know. And it was mean to go up and play for the Noah, and like I knew heaps of guys up there, so
Yeah.
it was mean.
So then, how did you go from the Noah to the New Zealand setup?
Yes. So I played the Noah, and then the following year I come back down and tried to crack Tassie 15s and missed out, and then I played Tassie 7s. They picked me this time.
Oh, yeah.
Stoked. And then I think after that year, it was the following year I did the same. I actually got told from one of the fellas out in Rewaka to maybe think about not playing 7s because I need to put size on. Like I said, 60 kgs.
Yeah.
Probably need to put some size on. And I was like, nah, I love playing 7s. So I played 7s, and then I was bloody lucky I did because me, Trail, and Tony all got picked up at the same time. So, and then, I was into the camp from there. It's wicked.
Mate, how good is that? And how was the camp? How was it going into that camp? Obviously, Regan was already in there, but what was it like going into that camp?
It was bloody nerve-wracking, eh? Like, we come straight out of the tournament. No, like, it just happened so fast. Like, we got training on Monday, and I'm like, hang on. Just played every single minute. And I was like, but saying I was
probably had a big piss-up plan. That's it all.
It did have a big piss-up plan, and we had to postpone it. And so we went in, and I was just like, wow, my body's in bits. I'm going up against some of the best athletes in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And, it was some fond memories. I got paired up with Sherwin Stowers in the first tackling drill.
Oh, he's hilarious.
He's like, I've been seeing you play nationals. You're pretty mean. Like, you got a pretty mean right foot step, eh? And I was like, cheers, bro. And then it was tackle, and he just read it, boy, and just set me on my head, eh? And I was like,
done his homework.
Yeah. I was like, cheers, mate. There goes that confidence I once had.
What about you, Regs? Because you obviously went in a few years earlier. Was it 1 or 2 years before Stubby?
End of 2015.
Yeah.
So maybe a year and a bit.
Yeah. And what was it like for you? Because a few older guys would have been there when you were coming in there.
Yeah, I was pretty nervous, bro. I think it was our first training. We done like a beat, speed, and then had a 10K training after that.
Yeah.
So that was the Titch days where they used to just kind of run us ragged, bro. It was crazy.
Were you fit? Reasonably.
Not really, nah.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't too bad. Like, I'd just come off the back of Mitre 10.
Yeah.
But I guess 15's fitness compared to that type of 7's fitness is a different ballpark.
Yeah. And what weight were you? Because on your Wikipedia it says you're 101 clicks. You're definitely not 101 clicks now, are you?
Bro, I was 103 going into that camp.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, true. So you were back.
Yeah, wow. That was heavy. I went in quite heavy, and then I think after that week of training and that first tourney, I would have lost about 6-7 kgs.
Touch will do that.
Yeah, probably 3 or 4 in that one day. It's crazy.
So what weight are you at now?
About 93-ish.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Is that the weight you're happy to be at?
Yeah. Obviously, during 7's, I'll probably get a little bit lighter, a couple of kgs lighter, a lot of running, but if I set it somewhere around 92, bro, I'm pretty comfortable.
Nice. And talk to me a little bit about the 7's environment, because I know through my brief experience, they used to have all sorts of traditions like room flipping and blanket. Do those sort of things still go on?
They've kind of...
You probably were the big guy doing those, eh?
No, well, it's kind of simmered down now over the last couple of years. I don't think we've blanketed anyone. Have we blanketed anyone? Not seriously. I've heard some stories, bro.
Who's the worst one? And what is a blanket? We probably should explain it for the listeners.
Blanketing. So I guess they just hide around the corner when someone walks past, throw a blanket on them, tackle them or not tackle them, and kind of just bash them.
Did you ever get it?
No, I didn't, bro.
Oh, true. Too much respect.
No, it's because I kept hiding from it.
I got it on my first tournament.
Did you? How'd you find it?
It's
good
scary.
experience.
I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, had you not heard about them either?
Nah.
Nah, just out of nowhere.
I think Regs might have baited me, actually.
Maybe.
Yeah. Come in here, Stubbs. I've got a secret to tell you.
You rushed in. Secret. And room flipping, did you ever get your room flipped? Or is that sort of stopped now too? Too much damage?
Yeah, I got my room flipped multiple times.
Yeah, I bet.
The last couple of years, it's kind of stopped.
Yeah.
It kind of stopped since Amby's one, eh? Probably.
Curtis Ambrose.
Yeah.
What happened to his one? Whole room.
Tell the whole yarn,
We
bro.
just smoked his room, like, did all sorts, like, set the alarm for, like, 4 o'clock in the morning, like, just all the niggly stuff. And we blocked, I wasn't involved.
Yeah, you're the only one here.
Yeah, the boys. They, like, clogged his toilet. And they were at the movies and stuff, and then he come back and they were like, oh, someone's, they flipped our room and stuff, and obviously Amby was bustling to go for a shit, eh? And he went and didn't unclog the toilet and just shit on top of the clogged toilet, and then went to flush it, and obviously it was just everywhere and just poo particles like all over the carpet and stuff, and it was shocking. And then like it was right next to the elevators as well, so you're like waiting for the elevator and you just smell the shitty carpet, that just got poo particles on it. And that was one of the last ones I think.
That'll end it.
Yeah, they shut it down, I think.
Oh, shit, that is a yarn. And another yarn I've always wanted to know the real story about is the Slice of Heaven yarn that Clarkie mentioned on his Waterlad episode, how he said that you sung the Slice of Heaven and you lost, so then that was the end of it. But what was the real story there? How did the Slice of Heaven song come about?
So, I don't know, as you know, we've got songs for like every culture in our team, and he asked me if I wanted to lead the honky white version. And I thought, there's no better song than Slice of Heaven. Turns out that's not the song. So I tried to take control and lead it, and I was only a young fella. I was probably only 22 or something at the time, and I was trying to tell these guys how to do it, and we're all pretty tone deaf. Well, all the white guys are tone deaf anyways. So we did it before the game, and it was the French, the French was sharing the changing room with us? It was like the first time we sung it, and the French were like in the changing room, like, I don't even know if they spoke English, but they were just staring at us like, what are you doing? So we just went through with it, and then we were all laughing and stuff, and then go out and nearly used to Uruguay. And then I think we lost the next one.
Did you sing it for the next game as well?
Yeah, because normally you sing the song for the whole tournament.
Oh, true.
Like, just before you go out for warm-up.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's more to switch the brain on, but yeah, anyway, it must have been a bad omen because Clarkie said shut it down. So we shut it down mid-tournament. Still didn't win the tournament, So. And then we went to Vancouver, and I was talking to Dylan Collier, and I was like, fuck, it wasn't the song, There's nothing wrong with the song. And we're in our room, and he's like, yeah, hard. And then we left the bloody door open, and as we were saying that, Clarkie walks past, and he's like, eh? You know how he does it? Like, and they were like, oh, yeah, no, it was the song. Yeah, it was the song.
I don't know if much of you went into that game. We lost us and we sang the song, It's like, you look at all the times we dropped the ball or, misreads and D.
Yeah.
First thing Clarkie says when he gets into their leadership meeting is like, man, I think the song needs to go.
Completely washed his hands with it.
But we still bring it out, and piss ups and stuff.
Yeah. It's a good laugh when we piss up.
So do you have a honky song anymore, or did you change the song, or is it just no song?
No, there's just no song anymore. Yeah. All the white guys like myself, we're not very good at singing, so we just shut it down.
If you had your time over, what song would you go? Would you stick to your guns and stick with Slice of Heaven?
Yeah,
one of the great tunes.
I'm still a big fan of Dave Dobbin, I reckon he's a great New Zealander.
Yeah.
Well, you tried to bring another song in, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, Crowded House.
Yeah. Better Be Home Soon.
Yeah,
yeah.
Soon.
And how did that go?
Yeah, we shut that down as well.
Probably lasted a week.
Yeah.
Oh, good times in the Sevens camp. And also a couple of games I want to talk about. 2016, Regs, you obviously playing. I watched a little documentary on it last night, 2016 final, and there was this one moment that happened, this tackle from Regan out of nowhere. It's you talking over it, a little 5-minute doco. It was one of the best watches I've seen for a long time. Could you give the listeners a little bit of insight into that tackle in that doco?
First
Real
of all,
doco
bro,
goes on for 6 years.
first of all, bro, the doco, the fella made me say everything that I said. Is and I'd say something that was, you know, I didn't really get into it much, and then he'd stop it. He'd say, "Nah, I need you to talk about it more." I'm just like, oh.
More like talk about it less. You were just talking about that tackle.
It wasn't my choice, bro.
No, but that was obviously a massive occasion. Back when the final was, the Sevens was still in Wellington, massive crowds back then, and you had a pretty stacked team, Artie and the Ioane brothers, Sonny Bill, and a huge final against South Africa. So talk me through that whole moment.
Yeah, it's pretty nerve-wracking. That was my first final I was involved in. But yeah, I guess, like you said, bro, there was some big names in that team. Augie, Sonny, the Ioanes. And coming on, I think there was only about 3 minutes in the game.
Sure, yeah.
And we were down. I was just like, don't fuck this up. Do not fuck this up. And yeah, I guess it just turned out how it did. And shit, we were bloody happy after that.
Right.
I won't say we pissed up. We had a tournament the week after.
Not with Titch, because Titch was pretty strict with that sort of stuff, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, he was. But I guess what Titch doesn't know.
Because there was all sorts of rules, like not allowed to eat red meat before a tournament or during a tournament, all those sort of things too, eh?
No red meat 2 days before. Obviously no drinking.
No treats.
No treats. Nah. We get roasted if we had treats.
Yeah.
The draw.
The draw.
What's the draw?
Yeah. What did I say? One year, me and Timmy were rooming together, and it was all Timmy's idea. We set this massive drawer, and you'd pull it out, and there's about 40 Snickers bars and some lollies and other sort of things piled up in there.
And he found it?
No, he didn't find it, but
imagine.
Yeah, every time we talk about eating shit or something,
yeah,
we call it the draw. It brings us back to that one time.
Oh, that's good stuff. Another game or tournament, I guess, was the 2018 Commonwealth Games. You're both involved, both won the gold medal. So talk to me about that tournament.
Yeah, it was a mean tournament. So we had another pretty stacked team. Leading into it, we didn't really know who was going to get picked and stuff like that. We had pretty good depth, and going into it, we had a whole lot of injuries, like Caleb Clark got appendicitis. That's when Joey's started playing up, eh? What was it?
Yeah.
Gout.
Gout.
No, it was, yeah.
Reactive arthritis, I think it was.
Yeah. So he got that, and then who else went down? Villy nearly did his bloody MCL, or he didn't have an MCL or something, eh?
Something like that.
It was something horrific, but he was running around on half a leg, going everyone still unreal.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ngarohi.
Oh yeah, Ngarohi did his ankle like the week before.
Sure, I think I'd done my knee as well.
Yeah, it was horrific. But anyway, we got into the tournament, and then I don't know, there was just a good buzz, eh? And obviously there was full crowds and stuff like that, and yeah, I don't know, it just kind of all fell into place for us, and I think we played some pretty good footy, and yeah, like I said, we had good depth, I reckon. So.
Were you always confident you were going to come home with the gold going into that tournament and through that tournament?
Oh, probably not, eh? Leading into the tournament, we were not looking good.
True.
But I feel like that probably gave us a good edge, you know, thinking like, geez, we've got to be way better than what we have been and what we are currently. So gave us that good edge without being too confident, kind of just right on that good spot, I think.
Same for you, Regs?
Yeah, we had Vancouver, our last World Series tournament. What did we come? 6th.
You came 6th in the World Series, didn't you?
In that Vancouver tournament.
Yeah.
So we lost our 5th and 6th playoff game.
True.
So it's not the confidence boost you want to turn into a Commonwealth Games, and then we flew over a couple of weeks early and played Aussie in Sydney, and I think our first game we got pumped, second game got pumped,
From like their B team.
From their B
Oh,
team.
yeah. Jeez.
Heaps of boys went down with injury.
Yeah.
So it was the opposite of a confidence booster.
Yeah.
And then a week before, the weekend before, my son was born.
Oh, yeah.
So he was supposed to be due a month later, so a couple of weeks when we got back from Com Games.
Oh, real?
So the plan was I was going to stay back and not go to the next World Series tournament.
Yeah.
But he ended up coming 4 weeks early.
Oh, far.
Yeah, so I flew over that weekend before, stayed for a couple of nights and then flew back on the Monday.
True.
And then, yeah, I kind of just went into the tournament. Nothing to lose, really. And
Went for it.
yeah.
And the Olympics. Talk to me about the Olympics. This was obviously a massive tournament. Got put back a year, so that was probably pretty niggly to deal with. But going into that tournament, how was that?
Yeah, it was a big build-up. Like you said, it got postponed a year, and all the boys didn't really know what was going to happen.
Yeah. Did you think it was always going to happen?
Oh, well, they were kind of confident that it was always going to go through, but
Yeah.
obviously you've got your Joe Blogs who decides they know what's best for the world and, think it's not going to go ahead. But, it's pretty stoked that went through. So we had a good year. During the postponement where we kind of we actually couldn't go overseas to any tournaments, so we had to create a few of our own, and shit was pretty tough, not going to lie.
Yeah.
Just training for, 8 months, doing nothing but, training against your own teammates.
Yeah.
And it gets a bit niggly, because we all know the same moves. So, you try and run a move and the boys just kind of
Shut it down.
fly out of the fucking line and, pluck balls out of the air. So it's a little bit niggly, but I guess in the end we got there. Wasn't quite the result, but something to be proud of, definitely.
Yeah. What was it like playing at the Olympic Games?
It was awesome. Obviously, it took a long time to get to that point. Felt like kind of like 5 years really building up. That was always going to be the end goal, was to play there, and just to even make the squad, I think was a huge achievement. And then to get out there, and I think, like for me personally, I think making the squad was huge because I just had so much confidence in the boys that we were gonna do well, and we've been training really well. So I think whoever we picked, I think we probably were going to go all right. So it was awesome. Obviously, there was no crowd. It was a massive stadium. But when you run out, you kind of make your own atmosphere, and it's a huge occasion, and just love going out there and playing with the fellas. So it's me.
And a huge tournament from you, like Clarkie put you as one of the best players in the competition. So obviously, individually, you would have been pretty stoked with how you played.
Yeah. There's obviously just heaps of things I could have done better. I think I got bloody bunted off a couple of times in that final against Fijians.
Yeah.
I think they really enjoyed doing that. I played against them, which I was bloody gutted about. But
yeah,
I think I was fit as, but just when we went into the tournament, like we kind of hadn't played a full tournament in a long time.
Yeah.
And when you're playing the World Series, you can kind of get used to playing every minute or, a lot of minutes, and hadn't played that in a long time. And I went out there and played a lot of minutes, and I think my legs just got a wee bit of a fright and went out to that final. And I say to myself, I'm like, you're not that tired. You kind of push through. But I think that was the one time I'm like, geez, I'm actually pretty naked. And it's not just because my head got taken off.
Were you sort of hoping for a sub? Would you have wanted to come off? Is that sort of how you're feeling?
Oh, nah, there's no way. Like, I think, like, if I knew I couldn't, do my best out there, then I would have said, but I was still in a good position to play well. I feel like I didn't play well, but I was still in a good spot to play well. And
What are the subbing rules in sevens? Is how many subs are you allowed to make?
You're allowed to make 5.
Oh, true. That's quite a few, eh?
Yeah. Unfortunately, that means 2 people have to play full games.
Yeah.
It's usually them.
You run a good Bronco, and they think you can last the whole game. Like, Broncos are so different, eh?
Talk to me about your Broncos. That's a question that came in a lot. What time Broncos do you both run?
I run a 14. What, bro?
That's fast.
Nah, my best high 420s. What are you?
I think my fastest one was 4:18. Yeah.
That's fast. You're both real hesitant around you. You know your scores, eh?
It's more to win.
Just trying to be humble.
I just love racing the old horses, like Scuzz and Kurt and Timmy.
Who does the best one? Who's got the quickest time?
Probably Stubbs.
Really?
Oh, just lately.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but honestly, if you're not on your game,
Catch Timmy on a good day.
Timmy Mickelson will carve you up.
Mate,
he's
he
nearly
still
10 years older than me.
Still goes like a legend, eh?
Yeah.
And the phosphate test, do you still do that? Where you have to do the 10, 40 metre sprints? No, that's gone.
We stopped that. Did you ever do one?
Yeah.
What other tests do you do now?
We've kind of changed. We do the Broken Bronco now.
How do you do that? What's that involve?
So they take your time earlier in the week, like how fast you can do a Broken Bronco, so you're 20, 40, 60, and it's kind of normally around 38 seconds, 37 seconds, and then later on in that week, he makes you do 5 of them on the 2 minutes. But your first one has to be within 2 seconds of your best time.
Oh,
so like, you've got to be giving it tits the whole time, and then they kind of just see how much you've dropped off, kind of like a phosphate.
Yeah. And
I wouldn't advise anyone to try that at home.
Nasty, is it? The brake makes it worse.
Yeah. You'd almost think the brake's too long, because you can feel your lactate just getting you, and then you're like, I don't know if I can start this.
Yeah.
It's a tough old test.
The first time we did it, we only had the 30 seconds rest or whatever.
Yeah.
We did it on the minute 30,
and
we were just kind of trialing it out, and like, I was running, like I was sitting on a broomstick. Like I was like, help. Jeez, and I was just trying to beat him by like a whisker every time.
I hate training with this fella.
Yeah, it just wants to beat you at everything.
Always, like we could be doing something that's real slow, but every time we cross the line, he's got to be 2 minutes ahead. Ask Trail, bro. Trail gets pissed off, and then old mate go at it, just doing casual runs.
Yeah. I'm guessing the environment's a bit like that though, because especially how much you guys have been training just by yourselves in the last couple of years. You obviously have to push yourself against each other pretty hard, eh?
Yeah, I think Stubbs just doesn't like losing to me. To be fair.
Competitive.
Which very rarely happens. But yeah, like we said, we had a good year of not being able to play on the World Series. So, we kind of had to push ourselves on our own, especially when you've got no country to, I don't know, put the pump on you or...
Yeah.
Fuck, take over, bro.
English, second language.
Yeah.
That's good for me. Like as a playmaker, we kind of had like 4 playmakers, or 4 main playmakers that like really put the pressure on each other. Like especially for kicking, line out throwing, passing, and stuff like that. We would have a challenge every week.
Yeah.
And they were just super competitive, and like sometimes you get too competitive with that. Like your kicking will go out the window or so. You just get inside your own head.
Yeah.
And but it's mean. I think that's why, like some of our set pieces work so well, and some of our kickoffs and stuff like that, goal kicks, and I think that's why it works so well, because we're all pretty similar in skill level, I reckon. And push each other.
100%.
Anything with money involved, bro, and Stubbs starts shitting the bed.
Oh, he loses it or he steps up.
No,
he loses it.
Up,
the pressure.
Money or dying his head.
That was rigged, bro. Dyeing your hair, that's bullshit.
Did you dye your hair?
Oh, it's shocking.
What happened? Talk me.
It was before it was cool, by the way. So everyone started copying me over here. We had a challenge, we had a bet, and I think it was hit the crossbar. The first one? Yeah, the first one was hit the crossbar. And I hit the crossbar, it was me, Regs, and Billy.
Yeah.
And I hit the crossbar, and then Regs missed it. And then I didn't think he was going to do it. I was like, nah, we'll make it best of 3. So then he has to do it now. It's a big event. And then, I ended up losing the next... Oh, no.
No, the first one was a drop kick. Second one was a crossbar. Third one was the
basketball shot.
Yeah.
And then I won 2 and lost 1, and we were all on 1-1 each.
Oh, yeah.
And we said right from the start, bro, we were like, all right, if it comes down to it, we're going to have to do a boat race to settle it.
I was in the shit.
It was me, him, and Vils. And once we all won all, I was like, shit, I'm in here. There's no way I'm losing the number.
Fully's been spending the last 3 years in Dunedin. I was like, he's well equipped as well.
Did you lose by much? Because, I mean, you're a pretty decent drinker though, aren't you?
No.
You've been watching him fucking blindfolded.
Reed smoked us. I think me and Bills were pretty close. But I think, he ended up beating me, I think.
Oh, heartbreak.
To be fair, bro, it was good on Stubbs for actually dyeing his hair.
Yeah.
He was a bit self-conscious of it, eh?
Well, that's true.
He was spewing, he had to dye his hair, so good on him for actually going through with it.
Oh, that's good stuff. And talk to me a little bit about the flight home from the Olympics. Obviously, Cruddo gave a little bit of insight about him dressing in his rowing suit, but what was the atmosphere like on that flight home?
Where do I start? We got on the plane. We got on the plane, and the first, the pilot goes over the loudspeaker.
Yeah.
And he sort of does his announcements, and then he's like, all right, I know there's a charter flight full of athletes, building up for this moment for 4 years, but we can't flip this plane into a party plane. We got regulations we got to follow. Yeah, okay, sweet as. Everyone's quite tame, and as soon as the seatbelt sign went off, it's like, boom, Yui boom cranked, bottles of whiskey, bottles of gin. Yeah, flipped it upside down pretty quick.
Party plane.
Party plane.
Oh, Cruddo in it. Was he nude, or was he in his actual rowing suit?
No, he was in the rowing. Yeah, he was in the rowing
Oh,
suit.
true. He wasn't lying. I thought surely he was nude.
He was in the rowing suit when we landed in Christchurch, and we were like, wow. He didn't pull it together.
He stayed in it as well.
Oh, he's a rooster, eh? You guys have heaps of good lads in your seven squad, though, eh? So it must be enjoyable.
Yeah, we've got a lot of good fellas in the team. We've spent quite a long time trying to build our culture.
Yeah.
Trying to get a good balance between, switching on and switching off. And I think we're in a pretty good spot, like all the boys kind of buy into most of the things we kind of say and do. And, it makes everything more enjoyable, especially when you got that buy-in. It's not perfect, but we're getting there.
100%. And talk to me a little bit about 15. So, like, you're both playing 15s now. You both had very successful sevens careers. Is there a decision for you guys to make whether to pursue 15s or sevens, or what are your sort of future plans looking like?
It's a tough one. We always kind of you sum up between sevens and 15s, because obviously 15s, is where you make all the coin.
Yeah. But
me personally at the moment, I'm pretty set on staying with sevens for as long as I can.
Yeah.
Obviously, if there's any Japanese teams listening today,
well, I tell you what, there's
contemplate changing
a
that.
few guys who have got Japanese contracts from coming on this podcast by just doing what you've done there, just putting the feelers out. So the next podcast will be Regan's announcement to Tokyo Shuttles. No, but your goal is at the moment to go with the seven side to the Commonwealth Games and the next Olympics. Is that sort of the plans, unless, like you say, a big offer comes?
Yeah. Like I always say, bro, like my heart's in sevens. I'm real passionate about sevens, about our team, about our culture.
Yeah.
So, you can't really put money on that sort of thing when you're fully invested into something like that.
Until
and I'm not ruling out. Getting me in trouble here, Jimmy.
And what about you, Stubby? Like, you've obviously made your name in the sevens game, and now that you've done that, you've come to 15s and you've made a seamless transition back to 15s, carving it up for Tasman at fullback. So I'm sure plenty of super offers or contracts would be available for both of you if you wanted it, but whether you want that, go down that pathway or not.
Well, not that I've seen. I haven't seen any of them.
Where are they?
Mustn't be No, like kind of the same as Regs. Like, obviously, never say never, but
yeah.
Like my number one goal at the moment is to win gold at the Commonwealth Games, and then after that, hopefully the Sevens World Cup. I feel like if I if I didn't put everything into going to the next Olympics, I'd be pretty gutted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just really want to get that gold at the Olympics, so it's my number one focus. But yeah, obviously never say never, but yeah, I'm pretty passionate about the sevens, and it's a shame that some of the boys don't get more koine. They'll probably stick around a bit longer, but so it is a tough decision that some of the boys have to make. Like, I know a lot of the boys don't necessarily want to go sometimes, but they're trying to set their families up and stuff like that. So obviously at the same time, very grateful.
Oh, mate, I'm sure there'll be plenty of offers coming to you both after this, but like you say, it's cool that you're so passionate about the side and keen to get to that next Olympics. So do you think you can do both? Do you think you could do sevens for the start of the year and maybe do a Bunnings Cup, or like, are you available for Tasman next year, both of you? This contract I could sort out.
Like I said, bro, never say never. I guess next year is a little bit tricky because the World Cup is September the 10th, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, if you want to sign us from then onwards, bro, I'm in.
Mate, I'm sure. We have to see what that schedule looks like, but if we can get one more game out of you two, I'm sure the province will be bending over to get you back. What do you reckon, Stubb King?
Yeah, shit, yeah. I always love coming back down here, like any chance I get. So
back out to Rewaka.
Shit, yeah.
Pick apples on the weekends.
Yeah.
Recovery.
Yeah.
Living. And you went out, you even tested the waters, didn't you, the other weekend, Regs? You went out fishing. Hell of a trip. Saw the Able Tasman waters, was it?
Ooh, I don't even think we made it that far. Wow, yeah, we probably picked the wrong thing to go off the boat. Lucky Willie and them got a bloody $1 million hard top that we just carved through the waves. I think we made it about 10 minutes out of the harbour and then parked up for about 10 and then we were like, shut it down. Basically surfing waves out there on the boat. Should have took my surfboard.
Oh, next time. Anyway, what are your plans post-footy for both of you boys? Have you looked that far ahead? Have you got much of a plan?
Not as much of a plan as I'd like. I think I started a social working degree, diploma. Don't even think it's a diploma.
Claim the degree.
Studying social working anyway, I think it was last year.
Yeah.
And but obviously anything along those sort of lines I'd be pretty keen to get into.
Yeah.
You know, getting into sort of troubled youth work, something like that, bro. Giving back to the community. Something I'm pretty passionate about as well.
Would you live in Toke? Is that where you want to sort of settle after footy?
I'm not really too sure where I'd settle. You know, you can't really beat the Mount.
Yeah. Good spot, eh?
Mount or Toke? Tough decision. But yeah, like I said, bro, I'd probably like to have more of a backup plan than what I do have.
Yeah.
Kind of just putting all my eggs into this footy basket at the moment.
Yeah.
But we'll slowly try and tick away at something over the next couple of years so that old dad doesn't get to hopefully 38 with no job after.
And what about you, Stubby? Back to the apples.
Yeah, probably. No, I'm no good at that. I won't get asked that. Yeah, I've got a pretty successful missus, so I'll probably shut it down.
What does she do?
She's studying her PhD at the moment, marine biology.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. So, yeah, smoko break for me.
No. So if all else fails, bro, we'll both be living off this missus.
Yeah, I'll get a wee farm, he'll be my dog. No, I kind of want to stick around, do something with sevens and try to grow sevens in New Zealand. I feel like there's still a massive growth that we can have in New Zealand. I feel like maybe a good pathway for Heartland players is probably to go through that sevens route.
Yeah.
I remember playing sevens for the Nua the year I got dropped. And I was definitely not the best player on that team. There was some wicked talent.
Yeah.
And I just feel like sometimes they they kind of fall through the cracks because they don't understand the pathway that they can go through or how they can get there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's the opportunities there for them to go a bit further. So I feel like that would be pretty wicked to get some Heartland boys in like a black jersey or even get the chance to maybe try. So
I like that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
The Stubby Academy getting Heartland players to the top. I love it.
Yeah.
Love that idea. Both of you want to give back to the community. Such lads. Anyway, guys, we've gone to the Instagram as always for some questions, and double the guests means double the questions. So we've got plenty that have come through for the lads. So first question, Regan, favourite part about going to the factory, HBHS?
Probably going to have a beer with Nigel Hotham.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that Noah's dad?
Yeah. He's our first 15 coach.
Was he?
Yeah. Owe quite a lot to that man.
True.
As long as he brings his guitar and buys us a box of Waikatos.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
Love it. Noah. Shout out to Noah and his old man. Okay. Best Vili Koroi story. You must have a few.
There's a few, bro. I don't know if they're PG enough to say. There's a few. There's heaps.
Well, it might have been his first. I was the first win. Our first win at a tournament. It was South Africa, and we had a few beers after, and he kind of shit the bed a wee bit and got too pissed, and we had to carry him and stuff like that. And we're like, righto, bro, we're gonna drop you off at the hotel. Should be sweet. And then we dropped him off, and the Fijians were having to piss up at the hotel, so we're pretty much just feeding him to the lions. And we get back from town, and he's way worse off than what he was. We were like, wow, what have we just done to him? It was amazing. He well and truly celebrated that tournament.
Fed him to the lions.
Fed him to the lions, mate.
Oh, that's good stuff. Okay, for Regan, were you good at touch or sevens?
Neither.
Did you play touch?
Yeah, I played a little bit of touch.
You must have been a gun going for this question.
Nah, shit. No, I was a battler on the wing. I was in there to do the yards and D for Joey, and then he'd sub me off when it comes to attack.
Did you go to nationals in that? Because you guys were always stacked, eh?
Yeah, we actually won a few nationals.
Oh, there we go.
Like I said, bro, I was just there for yards and D.
Yeah. Well, that's important parts. Love the yards. Okay, this one. For Stubby, are you still punching out of your weight division?
Oh, fuck.
Heavily, by the sounds of that laugh.
I don't understand the question.
Is your missus a lot better looking than you?
Out of the pump here, hole.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess so. I'm guessing it was a male that sent in that question.
Yeah, it was. It's actually Goody's brother.
It would have been, yeah, far out. Him and the academy trainers, far out. As soon as I got with her, it was just like, what's she up to? I was like, about 20 years younger than you fellas. Settle down.
But the relationship's going well?
Yep. Nah, she's a good sort. Yeah, she's sorting out. We're buying a new house, and she's kind of doing all the papers at the moment. I'm doing bugger all. So
she's buying you a house. She's good looking. Geez, she's got a hissing job.
Yeah, I'm obviously not that bad either.
Okay, is Andrew's favourite player still Whaatonu Philly?
Yeah.
He is. Big Wellington, Wellington fan growing up in the Kawhiri.
Yeah.
He had a good long boy. Okay, next one. How did Regs get such a beautiful running technique?
Oh, that's good again, isn't it?
This one's Andrew Goodman. The other one was Chris. He loves your stride, eh?
No idea, bro. No idea.
Have you done some sprinting?
Not really, no.
No. Were you always naturally fast, like as a young kid coming through? Win all the school races and all that sort of stuff?
When I was 9 or 10, yeah.
Yeah. Quickest in the school.
Quickest under 10 there was.
What about at college later on? Still the fastest?
Nah.
You're so humble, eh?
Don't think so.
He's just good at running because he was running away all the time.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't be the slowest to get caught.
Did you get in much trouble in Tote? Because obviously there's a fair bit of gang affiliation up there. Did you ever get involved in any of that sort of stuff?
Yes and no. You know, like my mates were kind of not involved with it at all, but
Yeah.
you know, we were kind of all little shits like that.
Yeah.
Trying to rep gangs that we weren't in. And little shits. Yeah, I was pretty mischief, bro. I was on and off the mischief train. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Did rugby sort of keep you from going down that path?
Yeah, it did, bro. Especially going to Hamilton.
Yeah.
I kind of had the decision to make, you know, whether I was going to stay in Toke for high school or head over to Hamilton. Thankful that I did kind of make the transition up to Hams, you know, because I probably wouldn't be in the place I am now.
Yeah. How good. Shout out to Hamilton boys.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Stubby, what's the worst thing that happened in the Bart Simpson room? What's the Bart Simpson room?
I don't know. As my old man's he's a bit of a craftsman, and he kind of done up this room. Well, he built this room, and as a young fella, I kind of had all my favourite cartoons on there, and Bart Simpson was one of them.
How old were you? Teenager?
Nah, I would have been like 6 or 7 or something. But you know, like everyone, we grow up, eh? And I was a teenager, I was still in there, and then all these cartoons are just staring at me, and I'm bringing friends around. It starts getting a little weird, eh? You see these eyes start moving, and you're like, Jesus, you're a craftsman, Pop, I tell you.
Have you still got it?
Yeah, still got it. It's my niece and nephew spend a bit of time in there, so they'll learn. They'll get to that age as well.
Oh, sounds like a hell of a room. Okay. This one's from Putty Putty, and it's a singing one. I've never seen Regan scull a bear in a tune.
That's not me.
Okay. Next one. Ask Regan if he's still the keys of a man.
Yeah.
What's that? What does that one mean?
High school, I used to lose my keys all the time.
Oh, true.
I'd literally walk into like one of the bros' house, sit down for 3 minutes, say, see you later, walk out, and I don't have my keys. Started calling me Keegan for a bit.
In high school? Or still now?
Still now, bro, yeah.
Okay. This one's from the real Stubby. Is Regs or Elisa the third wheel?
The tricycle.
Is it a bit of a three-way relationship, that one?
A wee bit. Kind of Riggs is kind of forced his way in there.
Yeah. Lisa's working on our retirement funds. I gotta hang around for a bit.
Yeah, we were planning on like anniversaries and stuff, and Riggs comes in. What are we up to?
Oh, that's good stuff. And who is Andy Pans?
Andy Pans. It's what my older brother's trying to. It's forcing his like kids who are like 3 and 2 trying to call me Uncle Andy Pans.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and it's sticking just because they're real cute. So you got to be like, yeah. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, don't fucking call me Uncle Drew to you.
Okay, who is Stubby's favourite claw brother?
Himself.
Claw brothers.
Are you an official claw brother?
Oh, I think
There's some legends in that group, eh?
there is. Yeah, there is.
Colsey, Warwick Lemert.
Yeah, they're the famous Claw brothers.
And yourself.
I think I've been born into that group. Unwillingly.
Is your brother in it?
Yeah, my brother's in it. My brother still acts like he's a 17-year-old fella, I think. Grey hair. Same height.
Way better looking.
He's an absolute creep. I mean, he's a great guy.
Okay, is it true that Stubby is the son of horror whenua kapiti legend Ashley Drake?
Nah, I'm not, but I wish I was. Jeez, he's a top man.
He's a legend, eh? He's been playing that 7th circuit for, how many years?
Yeah.
20 plus.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Cook Island International and DJ Forbes lookalike. He's a top man, and my parents had a bit of a do in Kapiti when we were playing the Olympics, and he rocked up and he was sculling a few beers, I think, back with the old boy watching the Olympics. So it was pretty special because he was in a few of the Kapiti teams that I was playing sevens for, so it was cool for him to come and watch. And he was one of the guys that kind of got me into sevens, and he's a top man.
True. Love that. Okay, next one. Do they fold or scrunch?
Toilet paper.
I'm guessing.
How do you wipe your mouth?
This is your question.
Scrunch.
Are you a scruncher?
Yeah, I'm a scruncher.
Scruncher. Okay, Andrew, what is your favourite stadium to play at?
Maybe Twickenham. I think Twickenham's a pretty awesome stadium. Like, obviously, there's a lot of history and stuff like that. From favourite place would be Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
And that stadium's pretty awesome as well, but it's that turf, you get grazed up straight away. So I'll be in there with the leg skins and arm skins next time.
Are you going to rep leg skins?
Yeah.
Maybe it's an American thing to do, eh? Goodies mate will be wearing them.
Carlin Isles. Yeah. You guys, how do you find him? How do you find him and like Perry Baker and stuff like that?
I don't mind them, bro.
Yeah.
It's kind of a personality thing. Yeah.
It's just Stubby doesn't like them.
Yeah. It's just Stubbs, bro. Great players. Stubbs got a thing against him.
He hates people who are faster than him. So competitive. Okay, we got heaps about this for you, Stubby. Why is Stubby such a Jew? And the other one was, who's the biggest tight ass out of both of you?
Well, it's funny these questions are popping up because obviously me and Riggs have been living together.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm yet to see his card since I've been staying down here.
That's a big call. That's a big call.
Filling up the car and I'm like slowly opening up the door like, is it me? That's me.
I've never seen him at a bar, bro. I've never seen him at a bar shouting around.
You get the beers, he gets the petrol.
Yeah.
I was at the tavern. We got 20% off.
Okay, two more. Most embarrassing moment on the field.
We're playing in Twickenham one year and we're Dean on the line and I was on the left side and they kind of faked to go right and then come back left and I was like, geez, we're short here. And I flew up out of the line to make a massive spot tackle. And I just jumped at him and then we both got, like, he just kind of went down. But I kind of did like a 540, landed on my head and I was like, what have I just done? And I've like definitely come off second best and we've only got like, I think I was the only playmaker left, so we didn't have any more like subs or anything, and I was just like more like all dizzy, and then Dickie's shoulder, and Clarkie's like, "What are you doing, mate? You just trying to smash a huge guy. You've come off second best." I don't know what I was thinking there. I was just panicked.
I need to find that footage. That sounds like one of the great tackles.
Kamikaze.
Okay, last question. One from each of you. Best piece of advice that you've got for our listeners. I know you both got lots of wisdom up in those special minds.
I've probably said it 100,000 times, but my big thing is kind of follow what you're passionate about. Do what you love what you do. And, you know, like, for me, like, a lot of what I do, especially with sevens, comes down to love and passion. Like I said, you know, you've got the choice whether you want to branch off and go and make money in 15 side of things, but I kind of like to stick around sevens because I love the game, love the culture and our team, and I'm real passionate about everything to do with sevens. So that's probably why I do a lot of the things I do, is because I'm passionate about it. So if there's one piece of advice I'd probably give is to kind of follow your heart and do what you're passionate about.
Love that. Wow. Stubby, you've got some big shoes to fill after that. That was impressive from Big Regs. Let's go, Stubby. You've had a good bit of time to think about yours too, so this is going to be real good.
Just a bit of advice. Just pick as many apples as you can. No, I think maybe just, yeah, kind of the same as Regs, like whatever you're passionate about, just go for it. And I guess probably don't listen you know, to people that are telling you that you can't do what you want to do, and you know, within reason, I guess. But but like if you know, if you want to be a footy player, you know, you just stick at it. And like for me, I remember there's been a few times I'd you know, been told I'll probably never play for Tassie, or you know, I'll never be a professional rugby player, and I've been lucky to, you know, there's a bit of luck involved as well, for sure, but I've worked pretty bloody hard to get to where I am. So I guess try not to buy into and try not to believe what people are trying to tell you all the time. Obviously take advice from people, but
back yourself.
Yeah. Confidence.
Mate, love that from both of you. That's two of the best pieces of advice is on one podcast. What a way to finish it. Really appreciate you boys coming on the podcast. It's been awesome to get to know you both over the last few weeks, coming down here and applying your trade and giving, like I said at the start, so much to the group, and definitely being a big part of getting Tasman into the final. So it's been awesome to get to know you. Looking forward to watching you guys go in the final, and then hopefully celebrating the next few days with you as well. So appreciate you coming on, lads.
Cheers, Jimmy. Thanks for having us, bro.
Cheers, Jimmy.